Welcome to Learn About Law. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law, and today we're going to talk about changes to Illinois child support law that are going to go into effect on July 1st, 2017. So, on August 12th, 2016, Governor Rauner signed into effect Public Act 99-0764, and this is going to be effective on July 1st, 2017. And what this does is it overhauls the child support portions of the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act. And it switches Illinois from the model that it was using for child support to an income shares model that's used by most other states. So it kind of modernizes Illinois child support law. So let's talk about the current model that's going to be in effect until July 1st. So under the current model, the court has minimum guidelines of child support that the non-custodial parent is supposed to pay as a minimum to the custodial parent. And these are based simply on the number of children that the couple have together. And so based on the number of children, there's a certain percentage that the non-custodial parent pays as a minimum to the custodial parent, and then the court has discretion to look at a whole bunch of different factors to determine whether the non-custodial parent should pay more than that. Now, under the new income shares model that's going to be in effect on July 1st, 2017, it's a more in-depth analysis based on the incomes of both parents and the cost of living. So let's talk a little bit about how this works. The first thing that the court's going to do is come up with a base number of child support that both parents are going to be responsible for the care of the child. And so the way they do this is they determine how much the child would have allocated towards the child's care if the parents were together. And they do this by taking a look at economic tables that are presented by the Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services. And in these economic tables, that base number that both parents are going to be responsible for is based on a couple different factors. One is the combined income of both parents, or the potential income if one of the parents is voluntarily unemployed or underemployed. The second factor is the cost of living based on the geographical area that the child is living in. And the third factor is the number of children that the couple have together. So based on those factors, the courts will look at these economic tables and come up with a base number that both parents are going to be responsible for. And then they'll determine how much each parent is going to be responsible for covering of that base number, pro rata, based on the relative incomes of each parent. So they'll take a look at how much each parent makes or potentially could make, and that'll determine how much of the pie that each parent is going to be responsible for covering from the total child support figure. Now, some non-custodial parents are going to pay less under the system, and some are going to pay more. It really just depends on the relative income of the two parents. And what's taken into consideration here that wasn't before is the income of the custodial parent is actually a factor now, when it was much less of a factor before. Now, the courts had discretion before to consider that in raising the minimum standards, but now it's kind of baked into the cake, and it's a little bit less discretion by the courts because you look at the base number that both parents are going to be responsible for, and then you do a mathematical analysis based on their relative incomes to each other. Now, child support is going to be handled a little bit differently in shared parenting situations. And this is a strict definition according to the statute. A shared parenting situation is one in which each parent has the child for at least 146 nights per year, overnights per year. So that basically the court is saying, well, when each parent actually has the child in their custody for basically an equal amount of time, we're going to look at child support a little bit differently. Now, in these cases, the base amount that both parents are jointly responsible for child support is multiplied by 1.5. So there's going to be a larger amount that's got to be covered by both parents in a shared parenting situation. And now the second difference in a shared parenting situation is that in addition to the relative incomes one to the other of each parent, another factor in determining how much of that base amount each parent is responsible for covering is going to be the time that each parent spends with the child. So basically, the more time you actually have the child in your custody, the less you're going to be paying in child support relative to the other parent. Because the thinking is, well, if you've got the child in your custody for a larger amount of time, you're going to be spending more of your own money and paying for their care, so you shouldn't be paying the other parent as much. So those are the major changes. It brings child support law again into this income share model in Illinois that most of the other states are using. It modernizes it, and the big conclusion here is that it's taking into account both parents' income and holding them jointly responsible for a certain base amount that factors in cost of living, combined income, and the number of children. It's a little bit of a more in-depth analysis rather than the strict, here's the number of children you have and here's the minimum percentage that the non-custodial parent is going to pay. So if you have any questions, if you'd like to schedule an initial consultation, you can call us at 630-324-6666. We practice all areas of family law. We're very good at it, and we're very affordable. We also practice almost every other area of law. We've got 4 attorneys, and between the 4 of us, there's not much we can't handle. So we're your community law firm, and we try to be comprehensive. So please call us for an initial consultation. If you want to learn more about family law or estate planning or litigation or business law or any other type of area of law under the sun, really, you can learn more at learn-about-law.com, where we have articles, podcasts, and video blogs about nearly every area of law. If you want to check out my business podcast, where I interview business owners every week to find their secrets of their success, you can go to seizeyourbusiness.com and check that out. Thanks so much for listening.